Most people think about what will happen tomorrow. I design what world will exist 20 years from now. This isn't just planning. This is the art of controlling the future. In 1999, at the peak of the tech bubble, everyone was investing madly in dot-com companies. If you launched a website, you could get millions in valuation. Madness was at its peak. I was thinking differently. I was imagining 2020. During that period, in my office, I started mapping out how the next 20 years would look. Yes, the internet was revolutionary technology, but most companies wouldn't survive, because rapid growth and sustainable business models are not the same thing. I asked myself this question: how will these technologies be in our lives in 2020? The answer was clear: internet banking, mobile payment systems, digital customer experience. But those providing these wouldn't be existing tech companies, but financial institutions that integrated these technologies. That's when I laid the foundation of my long-term strategy. When I shared this vision at the board meeting, silence fell. "Jamie, internet banking? Who will transfer money online in 2000?" said one member. "Everyone in 2020, I said. Most people get stuck on today's trends. I design tomorrow's needs. During that period, we started investing in internet banking. It was a very early decision. Our competitors called it waste of money. Even our customers were skeptical. But I knew technological transformations start slow, then accelerate, and those unprepared get swept away by the wave. 15 years later, when the mobile banking explosion happened in 2014, we were already ready. We had the infrastructure, experience, and customer base. While our competitors started from scratch, we dominated the market. Long-term thinking is timing advantage. In 2003, while watching China's economic growth, most American banks saw this country as a distant market. I saw something different: the superpower of 2025. I decided to invest in China. "Too risky," said our international affairs director. "China's economy isn't mature yet. Political risks are too high." "Political risks are temporary," I said. "Economic potential is permanent." That investment, made in China back then, is now one of the most valuable parts of our portfolio, the fruit of 20 years of patience. So how do I develop my long-term strategies? Before every major decision, I apply the same methodology. First step, analyze current situation. Second step, imagine the world 20 years later. Third step, design bridges between these 2 points. This methodology seems simple, but is difficult to apply, because long-term thinking requires short-term sacrifice. Before the 2008 crisis, my decision to withdraw from the real estate market was the product of this methodology. Current situation: real estate prices at unsustainable levels. 20 years later, nothing unsustainable can survive long-term. Bridge: reduce position, prepare for post-crisis. This strategy brought me much criticism in 2006-2007. "You're missing the opportunity," they said. "While everyone's winning, why are you staying on the sidelines?" I wasn't staying on the sidelines. I was building the future. When the crisis exploded in 2008, being prepared meant I didn't just survive, I grew. We bought Bear Stearns. We bought Washington Mutual. While our competitors collapsed, we strengthened. Long-term strategy is the ability to endure short-term pain. How much pain can you endure? Can you wait while everyone else is winning? Most people can't wait. That's why most people can't achieve long-term success. In 2011, during the peak of the European debt crisis, I experienced a similar situation. Everyone was fleeing Europe, writing "EU will collapse." I was thinking about 2030. In 2030, Europe would still be there, still a strong economy. It would just have a stronger structure post-crisis.
I started investing in Europe. I began reaping the rewards of those investments in 2016. I was patient for 6 long years, and patience gave the greatest returns. But the hardest part of long-term thinking is being constantly misunderstood. When we started our Fintech collaboration strategy in 2013, most people interpreted this as helping the enemy. "These companies are trying to kill you," said a board member. "Why are you working with them?" "Because I'm not going to kill them. I'm going to integrate them," I said. I was imagining 2025, a world where traditional banking and technology integration was complete. With this vision, we started Fintech collaborations. We developed collaborations with PayPal, Square, various startups. Today, thanks to these partnerships, we're leaders in the digital payments market. While our competitors still try to compete with tech companies, we grow.
By collaborating with them. Long-term thinking is turning enemies into partners. When the crypto boom happened in 2017, most traditional bank leaders ignored this technology. Temporary bubble, they said, doesn't create real value. I was thinking about 2035. I was imagining how blockchain technology would transform the financial system. Cryptocurrencies might fail, but the underlying technology would be permanent. We started selective crypto investments. We also researched blockchain technology. Result? Today, we're pioneers in the CBDC, central bank digital currency field. We're building the money system of the future by working with governments. Long-term vision turns technological transformation into opportunity. When the 2020 pandemic began, most companies went into survival mode. They cut costs, stopped investments. I did differently. I was thinking about 2030. How would banking look in the post-pandemic world? Remote work, digital services, contactless payments would become normal. With this vision, I increased technology investments. I changed human resources policies to support digital transformation. I designed customer experience to be completely online. Result? When the pandemic ended in 2022, we dominated the sector with digital banking leadership. Crisis moments are when long-term strategies are tested. When the AI revolution began last year, most companies made hasty moves. Everyone was in "don't miss the AI train" panic. I was thinking about 2040. I analyzed how AI would transform banking, which processes would be automated, which human skills would become more valuable. With this analysis, I developed a 3-phase AI strategy. 2024 to 2027, use AI tools in operations. 2028 to 2032, develop new AI-based service models. 2033 to 2040, build fully AI-integrated banking system. With this long-term approach, we launched a $5 billion AI investment. While our competitors hastily spend money, we strategically build the future. So how can you develop long-term thinking?
First rule, filter daily noise. Media, news feeds, social media constantly bombard with short-term information. Filter these. Second rule, understand the difference between trend and transformation. Trends are temporary, transformations are permanent. Third rule, understand human nature. People's basic needs don't change, only the ways to meet these needs change. When you apply these rules, you start developing long-term vision. But the most important rule, learn to be patient. Long-term strategies sometimes might not yield results for years. During this time, you'll be criticized, misunderstood, left alone. When I made Fintech investments in 2010, I waited 5 years for results. When I made European investments in 2012, I waited 4 years. When I started AI research in 2018, I was patient for 6 years. I was proven right in each one. Because long-term thinking, when combined with patience, is the most powerful weapon. How patient can you be? Can you stick to your strategy even if you don't see results for 5 years? Most people can't. That's why most people can't build long-term wealth. Finally, let me say this. Long-term thinking applies not just in business, but in every area of life. From relationships to health, from education to hobbies, you can apply long-term perspective to everything. Every morning, I ask myself this question: what I do today will help me become what kind of person 10 years from now? This question shapes everything from my daily decisions to my life philosophy. Can you ask yourself this question, or are you still busy with today's problems? Because those busy with today's problems miss tomorrow's opportunities. People who see tomorrow's opportunities overcome today's problems. I prefer to be among those who overcome.